Knobcon coverage brought to you by Signal Sound and Befaco, Future Sound Systems, Low Gain Electronics, Steady State Fit, Funk and Expert Sleepers.
So here with David from Bubblesound. How's it going?
Great. Had a great Knobcon.
Yeah, we're at the end, but you're still smiling.
Thank God we're at the end. It's been a long 2 days.
Yeah, it has, yeah. But your modules are some of the first I had.
That's,
you know, the ULFO, that, and the Livewire stuff at the time.
Like, I hear that a lot. The SEM20 and the ULFO.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're still great. It's not like the old stuff's not still good, but yeah, really iconic at the time.
Thanks. It's always great to hear. It's great to see that my stuff still has legs and still has value to people.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, 15 years after I designed it, it's a little humbling at times.
I mean, the micro LFO. Well, I used it as a VCO all the time. It was my audio source. It was killer.
There were almost no VCOs out. You know, there were 3 VCOs at the time, and you know, why not do an LFO that can also track and be a VCO?
Yeah, exactly. So you have some new things. We've patched up. I'm going to look at new Spring Reverb today.
Yeah, we've got a Spring Reverb driver coming out. It's unlike a lot of reverbs, it actually has some features. So the audio goes into a filter that's very similar to the SEM20.
Okay.
So you've got it's a state variable. You've got low pass, high pass, and band pass. Cutoff and resonance are all CVable.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the reverb driver, goes out to a tank, comes back into a crossfader for the wet-dry signal.
Yeah.
That's CVable as well. You have a choice in the dry signal to be the input or the filtered signal.
Okay.
So that can make things very, very vague, or you can just have like a classic reverb sound.
Well, shaping what hits the spring, I mean, it's crucial for me. I have some nice springs at home in the kind of studio on the desk setup, and I'm always EQing what goes out.
Yeah, and I was playing around, and I ran a high-pass filter through my prototype reverb driver, and it was just like this shimmer effect, and it sounded so good.
Yeah.
It's like, now I figured out what I can do to make a reverb driver worth making, for me to make it at all, because I didn't want to release the same thing everyone else has done, because why buy mine when you could buy Befaco's?
Yeah.
So by throwing the filter in there, it's really changed the whole dynamic of it.
Yeah, and you can't shape it afterwards. Like if a load of low enders hit a spring, you can cut the low end, but the whole response, like physical, mechanical response of the spring has changed.
Exactly. It's because everything's already so dark from the low end that you just it muddies up everything.
Yeah.
So we've got CV for the resonance, CV for the frequency, CV for the crossfader, and then there's a feedback circuit that also has CV.
Well, CV Res is more than some standalone filters have.
Oh yeah, exactly. So and on the output side, we've got a filter output before the reverb tank, just so you can take that and move it into somewhere else if you're not using all the filters. There's a reverb only output that gives you a nice dreamy reverby sound, and then there's the wet dry output that's CVable, everything's attenuated. And we'll be shipping with a medium length tank, a medium length 3-spring tank.
Okay.
It's fairly similar to what the Space Echo used. It's a nice 3.5 second release, but it's also compatible with about 8 other tanks. And all the compatible tanks will be listed on our website.
Yeah, you just have to follow those input-output impedance codes.
Exactly.
And that little 9-digit number.
It's all a bunch of letters, and it's just meaningless. But
just match the one you've put on the site.
Exactly. And the tanks are like $20 a piece, $25 a piece. So you could have 2 or 3 if you and really make it flexible.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
Yeah, I'm just really happy. It should be shipping by the end of October. The response to it has been way better than I expected here. People seem very excited about it.
It sounds great. I mean, I'm going to pan in. Let's have a look. So is this an internal feedback patch? Are you coming out with the feedback? Or?
No, it's an internal feedback patch. So it's not going through the filter, it's just going back into the reverb driver.
Okay. Because that in itself, being able to route the out back through the filter, especially if some res, there must be some really cool edges to find.
But it could get so out of control easily, because I do like the resonance. And if you got it turned up a little, like double an SEM20 resonance is going to be just a pure sine wave of noise.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's like you mentioned the Space Echo. It's a very different thing, but just finding that feedback point on a tape I like the process and just having to rein the thing in.
Yeah.
No, great. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thanks a lot for your time.